Man, we are so excited. We're right in the middle of a series called God's Big Plans, where we're trying to figure out what is God's big plan for me right now. And this morning, we've got an awesome treat as we've got 4 different generations of people right here at FBC that are going to share with us what they think God's big plan is for their life right now. We're going to start with Ethan. He's a 6th grader in our Kidsmen. Ethan, what do you think God's big plan is for you right now?
Well, last summer, me and my brother, we led our cousin to Christ, and throughout this time, me and my brother have been going on bike rides with him and just kind of hanging out, and he's asked us a lot of questions about Christ, and we've just been kind of helping him through it and helping him through the faith, and I think just during this time, it's especially good to help others come to know him and those who are searching for him to know him. And Joshua 1:9 says, "Have I not commanded you, be strong and courageous, do not be afraid, not be discouraged, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go." And I think it's just great that I am able to talk to my cousin and that I am able to share that. And 1 Thessalonians 5:11 tells us to encourage one another and to help one another through times and through struggles, and that's what me and my brother have been doing, and that's what I think God has for his plan for me.
Ethan, that's awesome. That's coming from a 6th grader. How incredible is that? Next, we've got Grace. She's one of the high schoolers in our student ministry. Grace, what about you?
During Collide, God just really put it on my heart to be leading our Collide group in a Bible study, but not only leading them in a Bible study, but writing my own Bible study to lead them through and in. And as this time went on, God just really told me, keep writing. But as he did, I looked at him and I was like, nah, why write? I have other things to do. And as this COVID thing hit, he really just looked at me and said, what are you doing? I told you to do something, and all you did is walk the other way. And so as COVID has hit, I just really continued to write a lot and go deep, really dive into his word. And so I'm about halfway through writing the Bible study. I'm really excited to share it with everybody when it's done.
That's awesome. I love that. Next, we've got Paul Gonzalez. Paul, what do you think God's big plan is for your life?
God's big plan for my life right now is a little program we've got started called Letty's Lunches. And what we do, we're a homeless mobile lunch ministry right now. So when COVID hit, a lot of the food banks closed down, and this lady and her little army decided to take it upon themselves to start feeding the homeless where these food banks couldn't provide for that anymore. So that's what we're doing. We've got big plans for it.
That's so awesome. And now, finally, we've got Miss Karen, and I know a little bit of this story, and I'm so glad she's going to share it with you. Miss Karen, what do you think God's big plan is for your life right now?
Well, God started calling me several years ago to lead a Bible study in my neighborhood with women, and I always had excuses like, I don't have the gift of evangelism, and I'm not as good with women. I'm really good with kids, VBS, and but anyway, he kept putting it on my heart, and then COVID came, and I was home, and I still felt strongly I was to start a Bible study on the Gospel of John. So I just stepped out in faith and started asking people that were walking down the street and texting people and emailing people, and for every 2 or 3 people that said no to me, I had one that said yes. So this summer we had a Bible study in my backyard. We had 7 of us that studied it, and last week was our last lesson, and all the ladies expressed, or most of them expressed, interest in continuing in the spring.
Man, how awesome is that we got to hear from 4 completely different people, part of Foothills, what they think God's big plan is for their life. And then at the end of this series, our team is going to put together an incredible project where we get to share God's big plans for the people of FBC.